Okay, guys, so here's what I came up with for a fun pair of earrings. Hopefully this inspires you. Just using three things from my Great Lakes Frost. So the Moonstone, the 10 millimeter, and these gorgeous bead caps. And those are stainless steel, as you know. And then these adorable, the triangles, the little teeny tot triangles, and that black and blue AB. They're so pretty. So pretty. And I thought these would be pretty fun in here. And then I'm using a couple gauges of wire. I am using the Parawire 22 gauge in titanium. That's a dead soft. And then I am using the artistic wire. That is also a copper wire with a black coating. And that is a 20 gauge. Okay, so we're going to use these two gauges. You could change this up and use just 22 gauge for the whole project, but let me show you. I didn't make the ear wires yet. This is what I decided to do. I'm going to play up on trending mixed metals. I love this, and I was thinking maybe we'll do an asymmetrical earring as well. So I just think this is just so pretty. Let me lay it down. And I thought this might inspire you guys just to work with your wire and do something fun. I also like the dimension here and working with the shapes. So kind of shaping our wire in a cool, funky way and playing up that against the round bead. So, and then that triangle bead in there is just a little pop of black. So I don't know, I think it's really cute. I think it's really cute. So let's get to it, guys. Let me straighten this right off the spool. Now this is 20 gauge and this is coated, guys, right? So when you're working with any wire that's not, that's coated rather, do be mindful with your metal tools that you do not mar your wire, right? So there we go. And let me tell you what we have. It looks like about maybe 7, 8. Somewhere thereabouts. And I think that'll be plenty fine. Probably can go down to about 7 or so here. Could probably go even about 6. Let's try that. Let's go around 6. Let's start with that and hopefully I can get the whole little component made. So there's that. And so what I'm going to do with this fun thing, friends, is we do not have to be perfect, right? We can make these swirls any way you want. You can make them perfectly symmetrical. They do not have to be evenly spaced. It's just a really unique look. There's no reason for them to be matchy-matchy. So what I will do on this one is I'm going to come in first with my round nose. And the first thing I'm going to do is make that bottom loop, okay? So I'm going to go right to the tip of my plier. Let me get these other things out of the way and get you guys in. And I'm going to pull in a very tiny, simple loop here. Okay, so I'm just grabbing my round nose because they have a very small tip there. Okay, and so there we go. I just have a very simple little tiny loop. As tiny as I can get it, right? Okay, so that's what we have there. And I probably won't really need those again. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my bail making, and I'm going to go into that first bail, and I'm going to put my pliers right here with that loop facing away from me in the middle of that plier, okay? And then I'm going to pull the wire over this way, okay? And I'm going to keep turning this until I can get that kind of like this, guys, right? So where it's kind of pretty even, but again, we can always pull the spacing together if we wanted, okay? And now what we're going to do is the same thing. We're just going to keep going back and forth. So I'm just going to keep flipping this in and out of my tool, okay? And it's facing me, and we'll straighten that out, okay? And then I'm just going to go right to the edge of where that first loop was, okay? And now I'm going to come back this way. So I'm just going to wrap my wire this way, right? And again, you can put the position of your plier anywhere you want on your wire. Does not matter, right? You're just making art. We're making art out of wire. So there's no right and no wrong. Okay, and now I want to go back the other way. So I need to put my plier now somewhere that looks good to me. So if I want it to be wider, I can come out here, right? If I want it to be, you know, tighter, I can put my plier here. Okay, so I'm going to put my plier here, which is just a little off center of where this loop is. And then I'll pull my wire up and around. Okay, so we're doing something like that. Okay, and now I want to, you can do this as many times as you want. I want my wire to get back up now. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to look at this loop down here, and I'm going to try to go right across from it to get my wire going up. And in order to do that, I'm going to get some chain nose or some flat nose, okay? Either one will work. And try to get this as straight as I can. Now, in order to get this straight, I do need to make sure my plier is off center. So when I kick this wire up, it'll be as close to the center as I can get it. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you notice where my loop is right here, I go straight up, I be right here. I want to kind of go over to the side a little bit. Okay, and then get this wire kicked up. Okay, and that's what I wind up with now. You can see quite the difference, right? Well, that's okay. I am going to work on that now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just take and pinch these together. Now this is 20 gauge, right? So it'll work with us and behave pretty well. So I'm just going to kind of pinch these together without losing my shape. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pinch these guys here together, okay, without losing my shape too much, just kind of gently, getting them to be a little tighter there, okay? And let me put that down and show you what that looks like up against the other one. It's really not the same. It's not the same, but it's perfect, right? It's perfectly imperfect. So if I want to tighten this one up down here, I can pull it in a little. If it's bent a little, it's really actually a better idea that I'm using my nylon jaw because this is coated. So I need to straighten that out. Let me just use my nylon jaw a little. Make sure that's good and flat. And we will cap it with this gorgeous bead cap. Okay, and perhaps we will, should we put this? Let's put this one with this little triangle with the other guy. So that's what I have, right? And now I'm going to, because this is 20 gauge, I'm very comfortable just doing a standard closed loop. I do not need to do a wire wrap loop in this case. And I do believe I used my first bail. I did. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so let's go here. And we will bend that wire. And then we're going to trim the excess. And we're just going to turn in a simple loop here. Again, because, and I will not let that go to waste, just in case you don't know. You guys know me. And then we'll just turn in a simple loop. And again, it's because this is 20 gauge. I'm not worried about it coming apart. Okay, so we'll turn in a decent loop there. And we can just hang this right on the ear wire. Just going to use my round nose to kind of pull that in a little better. Okay, let's see if I distorted this much. Not really. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So that's what we've got. Okay, so now this one's going to go on the bottom. Let's wire wrap this to the top. Let's do that. I think I can still work this out with this little piece of wire. Yeah, because with 22 gauge, guys, it's too thin for me of a gauge to feel comfortable making simple loops. Now you can. It's really up to you, but I'm going to wire wrap it. I also could open this loop, right, that we made on our component here with the black wire. But because it's coated wire, again, I'm just trying to minimize the amount that my metal tools are touching that black wire. So if I minimize my opportunity to mar up that wire. And let's just wrap that around. I think we can get 3 in. And let's tighten those up. Okay, looks good. And cut. I need some new cutters, guys. These are about had it. And let's see if we can get that tucked in nicely there. And now we'll put that moonstone and that bead cap and that cute little teeny tot triangle. So gorgeous. And now, ooh, this is looking cool. Oh my gosh, that's looking pretty cool, you guys. Now, conversely, we could have used actually a 20 gauge wire here if we wanted to. And instead of doing the head pin here, I could have done a loop and we could hang something and have this like really dramatic, for sure, and have like a 3-layer earring going on here. But I kind of was just thinking, you know what? This is kind of a cool vibe here. I want that to really be the statement of my earring. I want to draw attention to that. I don't want to draw attention to anything else except for that and that beautiful moonstone. But to tell you the truth, it's the mixed metal vibe is so pretty. The eye almost literally draws to the entire earring. It's almost like one of those earrings where you're like, wait a minute, let me look at those. That's what I was kind of vibing, you know, when I thought up this design and wrote it down, because what's really going on is right here. But guys, I just hope you can make out how cool as a cucumber our asymmetrical earrings are. And here's another